name's Tony Stowers, S-T-O-W-E-R-S. This is my book, Playing for Pride, Poems from Tony Stowers. And the picture on the front is in a picture I took when I was in Paris about 10 years ago. And that's what you see when you look through the grille of the front door of the apartment block where Jim Morrison died in July 1971. Just stick the camera through the little aperture and took the photograph. That's not the apartment, but that is the front door. I didn't get that far. And this book contains pretty much all my poems from the last 40 years. Yeah, I am actually that old. So this first poem, there are four in total. There's this one and three more. So the guys who are organising this concert or this online recital, they have to decide what they want and what they don't want. So this is the first poem I ever wrote, and I was aged 18, and I was in the Dole office in Darlington in the northeast of England, where I used to live when I was a young man. And this was what I wrote just after I came back from the Dole office when I was 18 and I was first signing on. A four-walled 50s fortress, windows, bricks, a door, new life in your hand and ashes on the floor. A gaggle of geese in the corner, a comedian heckles the staff, a snatch of speech in dribs and drabs, a man with spots, a woman with scabs. Smoke drifts in the silent currents of eddying sighs, and you wonder which one tells the truth and which one tells the lies. And the woman with 6 children demands her equal pay, and the young guy who lives with mum demands his equal say. A black and white procession through a silent film moves, like the small hands on a clock face, like a stylus in the grooves. And the old man cannot see, he's of no use no more, and the young man is only shown the way to another door. Frustration screams in silence, depression shows no remorse, while an overfed computer prepares for second course. Ha! Okay, this next one is it's called A Madman Comes to Dinner, and I wrote it in 1987 when I used to live in London, and I was a student in London at drama school, and to pay my way I used to work all these horrible shitty jobs for an agency. And I remember one day having to get up really early and go to this big office complex to be a dishwasher. What a privilege it was, for Shell Mex of all people. And just between leaving the tube in the city of London and going to the job, I sat down on the steps and composed the majority of this in my head, and then obviously wrote it up later on. It's called A Madman Comes to Dinner. I'm a million years old, and I'll tell you what I've got. That's an old man in an old world, and nothing can alter that. I live on junk food and cigarettes. I'm a stranger in the street. But sometimes I'd like some sympathy surrendered at my feet. I'm 1,000 million people, invisible and thin, yet I still can't find no winter suit for me to fit me in. Every truth I ever read is splashed with the colours of lies, and if I stood here naked, you'd see it was a thin disguise. Touch my face, I might explode, or my heart'll go up in flames. These days make tender mercies walk a gauntlet of shame. Small, tall, black-white boy-girl, smiling children grit their teeth. To long for satisfaction is too long for relief. I'm a candle in the window, but I'm burning down and out. When a madman comes to dinner, I wonder what my life's about. For the guests at the table, nothing changed, and I saw, though I want to be a new boy, nothing's new anymore. And this last one, of the three, how many? That's 1, 2, 3, plus there are 3 more, so there's far too many. But it's better to have too many and make a choice than not have enough and make a bad choice. So this next one was also written in 1987, and again composed with relation to having to make a living, having to pay the rent, etc. While being a student in London, it was a nightmare. It's called I See It All in a Rising Dawn. I see it all in a rising dawn. They come in cattle trucks, filling the veins of this city like tepid tubes of blood. There's overriding evidence the world is bursting at the seams, and a nasty rumour spreading that the nightmare's just a dream. There is a war in the offing, I think that's safe to say, but will it come tomorrow or will it come today? And there's bad weather up ahead. It says so on TV, but is that forecast meant for you or is it meant for me? They took away my credit cards, tried to burden me with small change. They showed me how to tame my soul and how to hold the reins, but they forgot. I'm from the north, from the land of coal and steel, and my heart is made of iron, and I know not how to feel. I used to have many friends, but I saw them dwindle in this town. And when my brother went to London, I swore I ain't never going down, but we do not keep our promises. And the modern world soon forgets the value of honour and noble deeds and how to repay our debts. So here I am in Liverpool Street, Friday morning, 7:03, borrowed from a pop song full of cheap philosophy. Happiness doesn't last forever. Happiness turns to sorrow. The higher that we go tonight, the further we fall tomorrow. So run to the left, run to the right, but you see there's nowhere left to run. And this world will one day turn to stone as the dusk ties down the sun. We'll all be landscaped, skyscraped, packaged, sold, used, killed, reborn. But we might just glimpse redemption in the spark of a rising dawn. Thanks for listening. Have a good night. Bye-bye. This is a new poem which I wrote 2 weeks ago after having done the Punk for the Homeless gig, which was the first performance of my poems I'd done for about 35 years. So I was inspired by that, and I was inspired as well by having remade contact with people like Attila the Stockbroker, who I saw in concert many, many years ago, and he was a real inspiration, as was Benjamin Zephaniah, as was Seething Wells, as was Nick Toksek, old school poets. Anyway, I wrote this a couple of weeks ago. It was the first poem I'd written in years, and it's called The Problem with Chocolate. The problem with chocolate, as far as I've understood, is it's expensive and addictive, but tastes very good. And though I love the odour, and as I said, the taste, my dentist isn't a fan, and neither is my waist. The other problem with chocolate is it's more popular than cocaine, legally profitable, so twice as much to gain. Cadbury's, Nestle, Hershey are all making an absolute mint. And the people that make them rich, that's me, are absolutely skint. They put it in our cookies, they put it in our cakes, they put it in our puddings, they put it in our shakes, they put it in our mousse, they put it in our dessert. We eat it till our teeth fall out or our kidneys hurt. They sell it to us in boxes, in bars and in eggs. We offer it to our dog, that's why it sits and begs. We use it to bribe our children and stifle all their cries. And we put it in their ice cream and flash it before their eyes. They ensure we're addicted and constantly in need, bombard us with advertising to stoke and fuel our greed, along with burgers, sugar, additives. They make us fat by stealth. They try to normalise obesity and strain the national health. But one problem with chocolate, and the one that I have to say bugs me the most, is the majority is grown in Ghana or on the Ivory Coast, the rest in South America, where people don't make what they ought to, just like their African cousins on the other side of the water. It's called the Ivory Coast because white Europeans were there to plunder slaves and elephants' tusks with profits not to share. But when slavery was abolished and all the elephants had died, the white man said, "What else can we steal to keep us satisfied?" So they planted cocoa everywhere, hired children as young as 10 to sow the cocoa beans and harvest it for them. And they paid the sort of wages that made Europeans blush. And if they were reluctant, they got a little push. Exploitation, trafficking soon became the norm. But as long as the fat kids got their Ovaltine at bedtime in big mugs, nice and warm. And another unpalatable fact, and this one you can't deny it, the people that grow chocolate can't even afford to buy it. So the biggest problem with chocolate is when our taste buds are anointed, millions of kids and their parents are all being exploited. The salaries are pittance, like $1 or €1 a day. That's from sunrise in the mountains to sunset in the bay. And that's 6 days a week, 52 in a year. No minimum wage, no unions there, no pensions, no school, no medical, no thanks. Just greedy first world mouths and greedy first world banks. So the next time you're thinking about chocolate, for a nibble or a bite, don't forget to say, well, who cares, as long as I'm all right. Or be an addict like me and wallow in decadence. But don't forget to buy fair trade and give the growers a chance.